We are back, ladies and gentlemen, today on Black Belt Tips, UFC 217. How did it go? We'll see you in a minute. Welcome back. I am Bill Jones, as always, broadcasting from beautiful downtown Cuyahoga Falls. It is a sunny but cold day today. I am the head instructor of Top Level Martial Arts, owner, operator. I am also a black belt under Master Pedro Sauer. With me, as always, my friend, my pal, my co-host, my chum, my compadre, slightly above novice in all things, Mr. Edward Whitney. How you doing, Ed?
I'm doing well today, sir. Man, you sound like you got the Ebola now.
I got the heebie-jeebies, dude.
Yeah? Did you get the bird flu?
Yeah, I might have.
Oh,
I might
man.
have. This could be my last podcast. You're going to have to replace me
Man.
with one of those other young studs.
I will find somebody. Nobody as good as you, though.
You were just like, yeah, I'll find someone. I'm sure it's not hard.
I said we'll find somebody, but not as good as you, though.
No, I'm sure they'll be better.
You immediately responded. You didn't even give me a chance to finish the sentence.
I'm sure they'll be better.
Yeah.
I'm not that good at this.
Well, man, I'm glad you're weathering the storm so we can get an episode out.
Yeah, no way, man. I wouldn't miss it for the world.
Yeah.
I probably would. There's probably a lot of reasons I'd miss it.
Yeah, I can think of a few. You got kids. You got a wife. These are all good reasons.
Yeah. A good lunch.
Lunch.
Someone offered me a steak. Something like that.
The quality of the steak would determine whether or not for me.
It's made of beef?
It is from a cow.
Yeah,
so
that's
that
done.
Is done. We'll do it tomorrow, Ed.
Yeah.
All right.
So anything going on in the news these days?
The only thing I've seen is UFC 217.
Yeah, it was pretty hyped up.
Yeah,
huh?
man. A lot of people think possibly the best card ever.
Wow, that's amazing. You know what I did? I didn't watch it at all.
Really?
Yeah.
But you did watch some highlights on Facebook and YouTube and
if those highlights weren't officially put out by the UFC, I won't watch them.
Oh.
I do not watch pirated highlights.
Whoa.
I'm full of shit.
Yeah.
Man. I watch whatever, but honestly, I looked for some and did not find them.
Yeah, the UFC's doing a better job of getting them down quick.
I know. What a bunch of dicks.
The best time to look is like first thing Sunday morning, right after the next day.
Okay.
Yeah.
Look for like cell phone videos of the screen.
Yep.
Can you believe this?
Yeah, exactly.
Look at this.
Yep.
It's crazy.
Watch it in LD.
Yeah.
Low definition.
Low def.
Yeah.
Analog.
Yeah, analog.
Messing with my rabbit ears on my TV.
Putting foil on them.
Because that's how Facebook works, right?
Yeah, put foil on them. Yeah, so the big story is Mr. George Rush St. Pierre came back after, 5 years?
I don't know. You're looking at me like I know. I don't know. I saw him in Captain America.
Yeah. Well, he won.
He beat Captain America's ass.
Yeah, he won with the rear naked choke. He did. It was an epic fight, but I just thought it was incredible.
Yeah, so he beats the heavyweight champ. Now, in the last time we talked about, or not heavyweight, middleweight. Last time we talked about this, I was like, why does he get a shot at the title?
Because he's George Rush St. Pierre.
Why do you keep calling him Rush St. Pierre?
Because it's his nickname.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Is that new now?
No, it's always been that.
Really?
Yeah.
I've always just heard him called GSP.
Yeah,
I learned
GSP
something
is
new
good
today.
too.
I learned something new today.
Yeah, but he came out of retirement after 4 years at 36, 37. I think he's 36. Came back, beat
62.
Bisping, won the belt. And now the rumor has it he's going to drop down and fight Woodley.
Rumor has it.
He's going to.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so I still don't. I mean, I get it. He won, so
Yes.
it's a hard argument to make, really.
Yep.
But like, I don't understand why he got. I just don't understand. Did they ever say why he got to have a shot at the championship before anybody else? I mean, I guess another question that might be more poignant is had Bisping pretty much cleared out the division and there was nobody really else to fight?
No.
Okay.
That definitely did not happen.
So there was a number one contender who got pushed aside because GSP wanted to walk in.
I don't know about the number one contender, but yeah, to some degree. But the reality of it is George St. Pierre retired as a champion.
Yeah.
And people wanted to see it, so
yeah, I guess
that's what happens.
I don't know. I guess I'm just in something like that.
I'm a purist
I'm
too.
A little bit about But anyway, I mean, he won, so it's hard,
so
it's
it was
hard
obviously
to make any kind of
justified.
argument.
Yeah, if he'd gone out there and got the floor mopped with him, then
How do you win? Rear naked choke, right?
Yeah.
Good old RNC by GSP.
Yeah, there it is. The RNC by GSP.
Not the Republican National Convention, though.
Yeah. Have I ever
Rear
told you
naked
that
choke.
story?
No.
So, this was, I don't know, I think the last election, not this last one with Trump, but like the last Obama election.
Okay.
Sitting there watching TV with the kids. Or no, it was this one, because it was the National Convention was in Cleveland.
Yeah, okay, so
And
that
there
was Trump. Yeah.
And there was an ad on the TV, the RNC. And Linda looks at me and she's like, Dad, are we going to that rear naked choke thing in Cleveland?
That's awesome.
I was like, parenting win.
Yeah, that's right. That's right, man.
Yes.
When rear naked choke comes to your mind before Republican National Convention, you know you're doing it right.
You are grounded, young lady. But just the way she said, are we going to the rear naked choke thing in Cleveland? Dead serious.
That's awesome.
And I was like, if there was one, yes, we'd be going. And then I had to explain to her the evils of politics.
Other people use our mnemonics and our analogy.
Evil
What would that be?
politicians.
Is that it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah, so...
abbreviation. That's an
I think
abbreviation.
it's just an abbreviation.
So GSP comes out so. If you had to describe the fight, I mean, like was it pretty even until then? Like
It was a good fight. GSP looked really, really tired to me.
Okay.
It looked like his cardio was... I don't know. Like, the idea of him fighting Woodley, to me, just seems not like the best decision.
Okay.
And just because, to me, Woodley is the 2017 GSP.
Fair enough.
Do you know what I mean? He's
Yeah.
the upgraded model.
So I don't know. Maybe he's just having a midlife crisis and feels he needs to go down and try out, just challenge himself like this.
Yeah,
I mean, is that what it
you ever
is?
heard why GSP retired?
No.
No? So, he is afraid of aliens.
Wait, hold on.
Yeah.
like not illegal aliens, like
No,
not
no.
Americans flown into Canada.
No.
We're talking about
No.
We're talking about like tinfoil hats and okay.
Like
okay.
there's a story. I haven't actually seen the video, but this is like a urban legend of the UFC doing like one of their promotional videos at his house, and they were unable to use the video because he kept wanting to talk about his escape routes. So if the aliens come during the interview, this is the way you guys want to run. Like, so if they come in from this direction, our escape route is through here.
I quit. That's it. I'm done.
Walk off.
I'm
shot.
leaving. You just keep talking to yourself. I'm gonna walk out the door. The podcast is over. There's no need to go for anything else. I will talk to you later. I'm done. I'm out.
See you, Bill. Yeah, but anyways, yeah, that's a true story. Like, and if anything, I'm downplaying it to the magnitude of which he fears the aliens.
That is crazy. How are you downplaying it? I don't see how you downplay. So, the minute you say someone's afraid of aliens, and I mean, I honestly believe they exist. How about that? But I don't think they're coming here for me. And if they do, I mean, they're pretty advanced. They're just going to wipe me out, step on me like an ant or something, right?
My wife actually made a point that made me think, because you and I are the kind of guys that believe that alien life could exist as close as in our solar system. I mean,
Sure.
Bacteria.
Yeah.
We're not talking about little green men living on Saturn.
Yeah.
We're talking about maybe bacteria.
Marvin the
on
Martian
Mars.
ain't trying to shoot me with his big ray.
Yeah. If there's Martians, they're probably bacteria.
Yeah, okay.
But my wife pointed something out. Like, when you go hunting, you don't look for, like, the Ed Whitney of deer. You look for the George St. Pierre of deer.
Yeah, that's a good point.
You know what I mean? So if
That's a good point.
You know what I mean?
They look at me and they're like, well,
I
I don't know. They might look at me and be like, oh, he's kind of meaty.
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, she's like, if you were going to go hunting humans, wouldn't it be like a George St. Pierre type dude? And I was like...
But the problem is, then like, that's only because that's all that's left. Like, I guess that's the way I see it. Like,
What do you mean?
well, I mean, you go after the George St. Pierre because he's like the 10-point buck, right?
Yes, it's exactly.
Yeah, but like, I think we've kind of thinned out the herds enough that's kind of all that's left are like the good deer. You know what I mean? Like,
I don't know, man.
And then you got like, it depends on who the hunter is. You know, if it's like this hunter who's like, you know, he's got all the bells and whistles and the funny looking hat, but I mean, he goes after George St. Pierre of deer, but Elmer Fudd's shooting a fucking rabbit.
Yeah. But see, I play these scenarios out in my head.
If
like,
I go hunting, I'm like, oh look, it's a deer, I'll shoot it. And
Gadoosh.
someone's like, that thing is like barely grown, and I'm like,
you're like, good dude,
it's gone.
It's dinner. But but so I like to play these scenarios out in my head, like George St. Pierre's, you know, maybe doing a double leg drill in the gym. And he's like, oh shit, the aliens are here. And he just takes off running out of the gym. And all the other fighters are like, what the fuck just happened? He's hitting mitts, you know. Pop, pop, pop. Oh shit, it's just gone.
Can you do his accent? If you can do his accent, that makes it so much better.
I can't. I'm not an accent guy.
Stop
But can you just picture that?
Yes.
Like you're holding mitts for GSP and
he's like, oh shit, they are here. And
he's just gone. And you see his Ferrari like peel out of the parking lot.
I like to think it's like a foot race. Like
Yeah, well,
the aliens come in, they got like a 12-gauge shotgun.
Kadoosh, kadoosh. You're like, God damn, what just happened?
Everybody else scatters.
Yeah, like, what is going on?
And there's the trainers just sitting there holding the mitts like frozen in place.
What?
And they're like, and like subtitles appear, and it's like it's
But
like
it's better
it's
if
like
there
leave
is
him.
no aliens.
Let's get the good one.
So imagine all this playing out, but there is no alien. It's all these other regular people.
It's just like a regular sound.
Yeah,
like he just hears a sound and takes
So
off.
imagine we're teaching class, right? And Nate August, just all of a sudden, he's like, oh shit, they're here. And just starts flying out of the gym. And he's giving something imaginary. He's giving pursuit to him. Can you imagine? That'd be amazing.
All I can imagine, because you know the kind of guy I am. I mess with everybody.
Yes.
And like I would honestly invest in like a speaker system and hide it in the ceiling, and like it would just make like weird like alien like sounds,
UFOs landing and
like
shit.
buggy sounds, like
I don't think that's good.
you know, or like
yeah, that's more what I'm thinking.
like oh my god, what is that?
Like some just ominous
Just to
hum.
freak him the hell out.
So faint. We're making fun of his mental illness. You realize this, right? But
Is that a mental illness or is that just stupidity?
No, it's got to be. Like I've heard him talk about it, and he believes what he's saying.
Interesting.
Yes. So I think that had a lot to do with his retirement.
Why'd you have to bring this down so hard, man? He's
What do you mean
like,
bring
we're
it
all
down?
having a good time, and then you're like, oh, by the way, he's mentally ill, and then you shouldn't make fun of him.
But it is a
hurts,
hilarious mental illness. I mean, not that any mental illness is hilarious, but aliens...
Let's just stop. Let's just stop right there.
Okay.
I think everybody understands. Let's not dig the hole deeper.
Edit that out.
Edit point.
All right. So TJ Dillashaw fought Cody Garbrandt.
Yeah, Cody Garbrandt from East Liverpool, Ohio.
Yeah, I believe it's East Liverpool, down that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. The crappy thing is TJ won.
Okay.
But under the old school,
Did he cheat?
No.
Did he cheat? Ed?
Probably. It's TJ Dillashaw.
I don't know anything about either of
I'm
these
sure
guys.
he's a great
other
guy.
than Cody has a neck tattoo.
Yes, and face tattoos, I think.
Great
But
guy.
he actually dropped Dillashaw at the end of the first round.
Nice.
And like under the old like Pride rules, he'd have won because you couldn't be saved by the bell. And then in the second round,
I didn't know you could in the UFC. You can be saved by the bell.
Yeah,
Man, it's just turning into like
boxing.
an easy sport. Such an easy, loving sport, huh?
Like boxing.
You know what I was thinking of, and I thought was interesting, is, and I don't know where this is coming from, and the thought isn't fully formed in my mind, and I am sick, so if this comes out and doesn't make any sense, just give me a pass on this one.
Okay.
But I was thinking about like things that people don't like about the UFC, and like if you're talking to someone, like what's the biggest thing they say they don't like?
The blood? I don't know.
The blood, right? Like
Yeah.
the brutality of it and stuff. And I don't know why this just popped into my head. It has absolutely nothing to do with the knockout, by the way.
Okay.
But like the brutality of it and like how like the blood is everywhere and all that kind of stuff. And they're like, oh, I just don't like seeing that. I think, that's why I like boxing more or whatever.
Okay.
All other arguments aside.
Yeah.
Punchiness and all that stuff. And I was thinking how ironic it is that the UFC was created by the Gracie family for the purpose of showing that fights don't have to look like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that you can just control somebody.
It
And
turns out
subdue them.
fights are pretty violent.
Well, my point is,
I got you.
at that time it was like style versus style, right? And it was like, okay, you can go ahead and do your punchy stuff and all that kind of stuff. I'm just going to grab you and choke you, and you're going to stop.
Yeah.
The blood and stuff wasn't in the Hoist Gracie fights.
Yeah,
It was
honestly, yeah.
It was in the other fights where they're
Yeah.
punching and kicking each other. Anyway, I don't know why that popped into my head, but
That's a good point.
yeah,
But the reality of it is, everybody knows jiu-jitsu now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm not suggesting
Yeah,
that. That's what I'm saying. Like all that aside, like jiu-jitsu isn't going to save you against a UFC fighter.
No,
Not by itself. You need to know other stuff.
Yeah, it turns
that's
out they
not
know
my point at
jiu-jitsu
all.
too.
I just thought it was ironic that like I don't know what I thought.
Yeah. No, I get
I
it.
think it's ironic that the fights are
It
so
is.
bloody, or can be.
they're
I
not
think the
always.
majority of them are not that bloody.
Yeah, but have you ever seen Roy McDonald versus Robbie Lawler?
Is that the one where it's just like,
Yeah.
it looks like 7 people were shot
Yeah,
in
like
there?
a Heinz ketchup factory exploded
Yeah.
in the ring. And his lips like hanging off.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it was pretty grotesque. It was the fight act because my son, he loves jiu-jitsu. He likes boxing. He likes all these martial arts. That was the fight I showed him, and I'm like, this is why you should never be a cage fighter, son. I mean,
He was like, Dad, that's awesome. I can have my lips sewn
it's
back.
like, that's not even
Look
a big
like Joaquin
deal.
Phoenix.
That's not even a big deal. And I'm like, yeah, not when you're going through it, but for a dad to sit there and watch a kid, that's terrifying.
You're like, you don't get it.
You don't get it.
This isn't about you.
Yeah, this is all about
This
me.
is about my own emotion.
Yeah.
This is about me. Some things I don't want to live through you.
Yes, I do not ever want to watch that. But I get it. I do get it.
Yeah. Anyway, so I don't know what that had to do with anything. So Dillashaw's down for the count, and then
Bell rings.
Bell rings, and,
And
he
then
gets
he
up.
clipped him. He clipped Cody Garbrandt. They're both really dynamic strikers for as small as they are.
So hold on, I guess I'm confused. So like, he knocked him down, and the bell immediately rang.
Yes, before anything could happen.
Before the referee, because there's no.
So it
10
wasn't.
count.
It wasn't like a walk-off knockout. It wasn't like bang and Dillashaw's just asleep. But I mean, dropped him in a heap and would have proceeded to
and had no chance to jump on him and start beating him.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah. But the big story was. I don't want to talk about that one too much. I don't like Ohio guys losing. I'm kind of a homer.
All right,
See
fair
how
enough.
I kind of tried to move on real quick.
Now, one of the things I don't want to get into all the details of it.
Okay.
Because I know that there's some things, external things that we have to take into account. Last week on the podcast, we were talking about self-defense and stuff like that.
Okay.
And again, this I apologize for having zero segue on this.
That's okay.
But this is about you, right? So like we were talking, and Emil Fisher was our guest, and he said something about like, you can't like people will get scared in fights and stuff, and basically drop their shit and freak out, right?
Yeah.
And at that time, especially because there were some certain things going on in the background, but you have recently been in a few events, and I'm not going to get into the whole thing.
Yeah, let's keep it very sketchy.
Yeah, but you've been in self-defense situation, and when I say self-defense situations, I'm talking about multiple people trying to beat you up.
Yes.
And you're like, well, and we couldn't talk about it then. You wanted to bring it up then to some degree, but but like you couldn't then for basically. Long story short,
I don't want to go to jail.
When there's investigations underway,
Yeah, you know what? I don't want
and
to go
nobody
to jail.
got hurt, nobody got killed. Let me just put that out there.
Nobody's dead.
But like there was still an active investigation, and everything seems to be like just kind of going away. So let's just let it go away.
Yeah,
right?
that's where I'm at.
But point is you had to defend yourself, and then there was a he said
Yeah,
kind
a lot
thing.
of that.
I almost said he said she said. I was
Yeah.
like, that doesn't sound good.
But that's basically what it was.
But there, it was two parties arguing different sides, and
yeah.
point is, you had to defend yourself against like 3 people,
To some degree, yeah.
and you did fine.
Yeah.
You actually had you not told me you were in an altercation, I wouldn't have known you were.
Because my face was clean as a whistle.
You look beautiful.
Clean as a whistle.
So anyway, I don't know why this is the moment where I chose to bring that in.
Yeah,
here.
I was like, that's awkward. I'm like, my palms are sweating because I'm like, God, I hope he doesn't say anything to get me in trouble.
No, I'm not going to. I'm gonna kind of leave it at that. But the point is, I guess my point is, I think that a lot of that, especially if you're a trained martial artist, has a lot more to do with your personality and your level, just your mechanics, than it does with exactly what you trained or whether or not you've competed. And I couldn't get into, and that's not to say that competing doesn't help. I think.
Oh yeah,
it does.
I agree.
I agree 100%
with
that
point,
it does.
100%, yeah.
But I don't think that because you haven't competed, it means that you're going to like freeze.
Yeah.
Depending on the situations and
Yeah.
everything. So anyway, I guess that's what and we kind of wanted to get into that, and maybe one day we'll be able to tell the whole story. But today's not that day.
We're not there.
We're just gonna wet your whistles with that. That Ed is basically a badass.
No, definitely not.
He has saved his family on multiple occasions, and I'm not lying about that. And
Definitely not a badass, though.
Continue, UFC.
Yeah, so the big story was Thug Rose Namajunas over Joanna Jędrzejczyk. And
Now, which one did you say is champion?
Joanna.
Joanna champion?
Yes, Joanna champion.
Why do they call her champion?
Because up until now, she looked unbeatable.
Oh, okay.
But the crazy thing is I was actually sitting here on this couch, like you guys can't see I'm pointing to, but there's a couch next to us, predicting the fights with a couple of our members, and I actually picked Rose. And the reason, she was a major underdog. And the reason being is I was watching Joanna's last fight, and I noticed she only moves straight back and straight forward. She's never taken angles. Like, she's never stepping off the angles. And I felt like Rose, being, I can't remember who her trainer is. I can't remember his name now. But he's a legit striking coach.
Okay.
And I figured he'd be able to exploit that. Just if Ed, eating Cheetos on the couch, notices, she just keeps moving straight back, straight back, straight back. I figured...
Then a very good professional
Yes,
striking coach
exactly.
is probably going to make that determination.
And that's exactly
have
what
a lot
happened.
to do with it.
She kept going straight forward, straight back. And
I think women's MMA is in a very amazing spot right now, because I think the reason we keep thinking someone's unbeatable, like we don't think that. When's the last time we thought that about a men's MMA?
Anderson Silva, maybe?
Yeah, right. It's rare, right?
Yeah.
But it's because I don't think women's MMA has peaked yet. I don't think we've seen what a peak women's MMA fighter actually looks like and how good she really is.
Yep.
And so every time we see someone that we think is there,
yep. Somebody
our
else
man
comes along.
brains go, "Oh, well, that's unbeatable now," and then we're like, "Oh, there's even better."
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, think about Ronda Rousey.
Yeah.
There was a time when everybody thought, man, she's just going to break everybody's arm until
Yep.
she decides to retire. And then what happened? She got knocked out one time and was done. Gone.
Yeah, she came back for one more, got starched again, and then
Yeah, and
right off into the sunset.
That kind of. I think that there's a lot of growth there that's still happening, and a lot of pushing that's still happening.
Yes,
I think women are still realizing, oh, wait a minute, we can be better than this. I think there's a lot of women who are finally realizing it, and it's kind of like when. There was a time when people thought that you couldn't run, like literally it was impossible to run
a 4-minute
4-minute mile.
Yeah.
And then someone did it, and I should look it up, but I don't have a Google machine in front of me. I should look it up and see who it is.
Everybody did.
And then it was just like in that same year, like a ton of people did it.
Yep.
And it's just, that's kind of like, if you
was that the year steroids were invented?
No, it was not. It may have been. I don't know.
Yeah, that's right.
I don't know those dates, but
yeah, it's funny. Like, I always pointed to that story, like, that's incredible. But now that I look back, I'm like, maybe.
You never know. I don't know.
I know.
I mean, I know a guy who could run a sub 4-minute mile, and I don't think he was on steroids.
Yeah, I'm joking mostly.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, it was impressive to watch him.
Yeah, it really was.
Because if you ever try to run a 400, like a mile is about 1,600 meters.
Yeah.
And if you try to run a 400, which is one lap around the track, run it as fast as you physically can. And like, even at my fastest, I was able to run it in like 55 seconds. And that was like an all-out sprint for 400 meters. And that was pretty quick, relatively, especially to my size. And
try to do that 4 times.
Yeah, 4 times without a break, not going to happen.
Not working, buddy.
Like, that was me going as fast as I can. I don't even know what the 400 records are right now. They're probably in like the 40-second.
Yeah, I was thinking probably 39 seconons or something.
Yeah, it's probably ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm sure it is.
Yeah, that's crazy. And I'm sorry if I'm sniffling and people are hearing it. I apologize.
Yeah. You gonna blow your damn nose, or do I have to sit here and listen to the goddamn sniffles for the whole episode?
Dang, dude. Words hurt, man.
I'm sorry.
First you got to tell me the GSP's crazy as a fucking bat, and then now you got to yell at me?
Well, everybody keeps asking me, they're like, well, why are they letting him fight? And I'm like, I'm pretty sure the aliens came before fighting. Yeah, so it's literally a mental illness thing.
That's crazy to me.
Yeah.
That's insane.
You should give it a Google, man. It's pretty
I got better things to do. I'll just
let me
learn
tell you
that
about
vicariously
it.
through you.
Okay. Yeah, so like I said, no more Joanna champion. She's gonna have to start taking angles with her strikes.
Well, maybe she will.
Yeah.
Maybe she'll get better.
She's really fast.
Depends how bad she wants it.
Really crisp straight punches. So I mean, with a little little manipulation.
Now is that something where you think they'll do a like a rematch?
I would think so.
What about Bisping GSP?
Nah.
Why not?
I don't think Bisping's ever going to fight anymore.
No,
I think he'll ride off into the sunset.
He's had a long career, right?
Yeah, I know he's the winningest guy at that division, and I think he's only behind like Frank Mir and Gleison Tebow.
Who's Gleison Tebow?
Right? I know who he is, but it's so weird that he's like the second winningest fighter of all time. But yeah, I'm pretty sure it goes like Frank Mir, Gleison Tebow, and then Michael Bisping.
You didn't answer my question. Who is he?
He's a fighter?
Was he a champ? Was he?
I don't think he
How
ever
long
won a
did he
title.
fight? When did he fight?
He fought a lot. He was one of those guys who would fight 2, 3, 4 times a year.
Oh wow!
But he was upper level, but he could never get to that crust of champions. But he was really good. I mean,
Man.
you know,
for him not to get to the championship though, he'd have to be losing a lot too.
So he's not Terry Bradshaw, but he was Bernie Kosar.
I think that's a terrible thing to say. Bernie Kosar and Terry Bradshaw are two different things.
But
Terry Bradshaw is arguably the best quarterback that's ever lived. This is coming from a Steelers fan,
right?
And
Bernie Kosar was solid.
Terrible.
No, come on, man.
He played for the Cleveland Browns
when they were good. That was the last time they were good. But the point I'm making is that he was like a solid NFL pro. You know what I mean?
Yeah, giving Bernie his due. He was actually a very
Let's
good
go
pro.
with Boomer Esiason or some random guy like that. Do you know what I mean? Just some random quarterback. Warren Moon.
Warren Moon. Good example.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Like really good quarterback, but not quite. He was never Troy Aikman. You know? Does that make sense?
Good.
Because
Troy Aikman was a Dallas Cowboy, and nobody likes that team.
So...
Nope, nobody likes it.
Is there any team you like other than the Steelers? Or don't hate?
Yeah, there's plenty that I don't hate. I don't hate the Browns.
Okay. He's like, you guys aren't even good enough.
Yeah, I just feel bad for the Browns.
It's sympathy at this point.
Yeah, I mean, like the only teams I really have a disdain for are the Baltimore Ravens.
Okay.
Who, by the way, I still call the Browns.
Yeah, they took the
Browns
ability to win.
Yeah, and
our front office.
The Dallas Cowboys. I've never liked them.
Really?
Yeah, I always thought they were too cocky.
Yeah.
I say that. They're all cocky.
Yeah,
they're all a bunch of cocky bastards making millions catching a football. I mean, good for them. If I could do it, I would too. But I can't, so I don't.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm just a little jealous.
A little jelly. And then your boy won.
Who?
Wonder Boy.
Oh, why see my boy?
Kid. I seen a little spark in your eye every time I talk about him. What? You're like, did he kick somebody's head off?
Couldn't even tell you what he looks like.
I don't know.
I just know that he does karate.
Put it this way, like most of the time when I say a UFC fighter name, you're like, who's that?
No, this is honestly why I, if you're going to say I like him, I root for him or whatever, is because I believe he's also under the Machados, and Carlos Machado, who I know is I believe trains him. Yeah,
I didn't know that.
They're buddies with him. So.
Yeah, I know he's a karate guy though. Primarily,
Carlos and his wife are always talking about Wonder Boy on Facebook and stuff.
Oh, okay.
So. But he won.
Yeah, he beat Jorge Masvidal.
Who?
Funny story about Jorge Masvidal. You remember Kimbo Slice?
So yes, but that sounds like a Hispanic name,
Cuban,
combined with a Jewish name to me.
I guess it does.
Or like an Eastern Bloc name.
Yeah, but he's actually Cuban.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
good for him.
So he, funny thing about Jorge is he started in that backyard fights circuit with Kimbo Slice.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And his
I like how you called it a circuit. I like how you called random ass YouTube videos a circuit, as though it's something that you can do. Like, hey, you know what? I'm going to start local, do a couple YouTube videos, work my way up to the UFC.
Try to work myself up to the...
Not typically the route most people take.
Yeah, I'm going to start in the backyard circuit, try to get into the church scene, work my way into the bingo halls, and then boom, I'm off to the races. But yeah, so long story short, he started off in the backyard fight circuit. Yeah, but Wonder Boy won.
For anyone who can't see it, I couldn't stop laughing just now. I'm putting a lot of Dayquil.
Yeah, he's on all the Dayquil.
I don't know if that has any effect.
Yeah.
That's a good excuse.
But like I said, I wanted to let you know that your favorite fighter won.
Okay, my favorite
See,
fighter.
what you guys can't see is he's sitting here in a Wonder Boy t-shirt. It's got him.
I'm wearing his Speedos.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Are they the actual fight
all
ones?
I'm wearing.
Oh.
Yeah, he doesn't know he lost them yet.
It's awkward.
Turns
Real
out
awkward.
if you stand by the laundry cart, if you sit in the laundry cart.
I don't think there is a laundry cart. I think you take your stuff home with you in your duffel bag. So this would have been bona fide theft. He straight went in his bag.
No, I mean, it was like the hotel laundry cart.
Oh, okay. I don't think that's how this works.
It was his suitcase. I was in his suitcase.
Now the truth
Packed
comes
myself
out.
in his suitcase.
Yep.
All right, it's getting weird.
So last night, and this segues into the next fight.
Me in someone's suitcase? Segues to the next fight?
But so last night I'm sitting on the mat and we're talking about the fights. In the Paulo Costa, sorry if I'm messing up his name, versus Johnny Hendricks fight came up. And everybody who watched it had a story about their wife was like, oh my God, he has the skin of a Greek god. He might be the handsomest guy alive. Like 4 different people had tales.
So this guy's like the Misha Tate of men's MMA?
Misha Tate could beat herself with a stick. This guy is like, he's killing it. Like, I was sitting there watching the fight, and I'm like, he must get every chick.
I mean, I don't know what you're into. I'm into Misha Tate.
Me too. But I'm saying I want to look like Paulo Costa, because I'm telling you, this guy is getting...
Let me see a picture of Paulo Costa. Bring it up on the
chick.
Google.
He's got to get every chick ever.
Gosh, this is so... This is like...
I'm sorry I'm calling women chicks.
I was going to say, this is such a terrible podcast right now.
We made fun of mental illness, and I'm calling women chicks.
This is... We're going to hell, dude. We're in trouble.
But yeah, this guy, he's taking Mr. Stole Your Girl.
Let me see. Okay, so I'm looking at him, and he's got a lot of muscles, and they're kind of like evenly proportioned.
Yeah, they're like
perfectly
action
proportioned.
figure, like somebody just drew him
Action
on.
figure. That's a great way to describe him. He does look like an action figure.
He's got like Ken's face and hair on a G.I. Joe body.
Ken? He doesn't look like Ken. He looks... I don't know what he looks like. Yeah, he's a very handsome man.
Yeah,
I mean, there's no taking that away.
He's killing the game.
I mean, he's not me, but he's pretty...
he's no Bill Jones, but he's clearly killing the game.
Yeah, he's fine.
Like, he's doing really well.
Yeah, he's probably got like a wife and kids and like super settled down, and we're talking about him
I don't...
like a bunch of hormone-crazed teenagers.
I doubt he has a wife or a girlfriend.
Why do you doubt that? Look it up. Let's see.
I don't think it matters.
You said you doubt it.
I'm telling you, the amount of ladies that are probably trying to get his company. You know what I mean?
So anyway, everybody, all your wife was interested in him, and who else was interested?
Not my
in him?
wife.
Well, didn't you say somebody's wife?
Yeah, several people said things like this. I'm not going to say their name.
Oh,
but yeah. Nah, it says he's single.
no. Well, good for him.
Good for him.
I mean, that's his job, right?
Yep. So I now live vicariously through that guy.
Okay.
Yeah.
So good for you.
Don't make it weird.
You made it weird.
I didn't make it weird. But yeah, he beat Johnny Hendricks, who I'm not a guy to tell people to retire, but Johnny Hendricks really should start thinking about retiring. He looks worse and worse every fight.
Yeah, I don't know. I think you only have so many losses in you before it's like mentally gets to you.
Especially at that level. Like, if you're like a local guy, you know, beating down the local circuits and you lose, nobody knows.
Yeah.
You go back to the gym, you get better, and you come back. But when it's on TV, everybody's watching, you know. And also, I think you only have so many fights in your period. You know, there's the occasional Alistair Overeem.
Yeah. I mean, that's why I'm going to start fighting now.
Now at 38?
Yeah, 38 seems like...
It seems like the perfect time to give it a
38, go. Slightly out of shape.
Perfect decision. I support your decision, sir.
I mean, just the amateur circuit.
Yeah,
just the YouTube circuit.
Oh, sometimes when you go to amateur fights, though, you got to look at them and feel bad. Like, I went to some amateur fights recently, and the kid fighting in the first fight was like 0-6.
Oh wow!
And he's like an independent fighter.
Why?
That's what I told my wife, and they're like, an independent fighter. I was like, oh, this is not going to be good. Because that means he's never.
Oh, is this the one where you were like, hold on? So if I remember the story behind this, so you and your wife are there having a good time,
yeah, having
a drink or two, watching the fights,
yeah,
and you know it came over the announcements, independent fighter, and you were like, oh, this is not going to be good. And then you looked over, and it's like his wife right beside you, and she's like, what?
No, that was a different fight, but that did happen. So Justin, one of our members here. He trains everywhere.
Good friend.
Yeah, but he was helping out someone from another place he trains, cornering him or carrying the spit bucket, whatever it was he was doing.
Sure.
And he's telling me, he's like, oh yeah, this kid's like all-state wrestler and blah, 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 you know, and he's a monster.
Okay.
So I then proceed to go over, sit down with my
And Justin's
wife.
a purple belt, so he can tell like good skill from bad, and he's been doing MMA for a while.
Yeah,
Like, he knows what he's talking about.
He's been around the block enough to recognize somebody who's a beast.
Yeah.
And I go immediately go sit down and I tell my wife all these things he said and about, you know, and then the other kid comes out. He looks a little soft, you know.
Looks a little billish.
A lot like Ed Whitney, you know.
Okay.
And I'm telling my wife, I'm like, this ain't going to be good. This kid's a monster. And yes, sitting 2 seats over was the other kid's wife or girlfriend or whatever it was.
And she's probably like, "Well, I don't know."
Yeah.
You always got to feel bad for those, like, because they don't realize, like, because I think in every or most of these women's minds, you know, that their husband or whatever is a badass, and they may very well be.
Hey, he is a badass.
But it turns out like there's another badass in the ring, and that may not go the way you think it's.
Yeah, this is not. Yeah, it turns out no matter how much of a badass you are.
I have decided that if I were to ever do it, not that at 38 I'm actually planning on getting into MMA, but if I were going to do it, I probably would tell my wife to just stay at home.
Oh yeah,
and I'm a black belt in Brazilian
There's
Jiu-Jitsu.
no way I'd want.
Like
my
I'd
wife
rather
there.
be like, go home and go, "Hey baby, check out this video of me whooping some ass," rather than like, you know, her having to like pick me and like 17 teeth up off the ground and like carry me to the hot. No.
Yeah, I don't want my wife there. No way.
Nope.
No way. I want nothing to do with that.
Nope, me either.
Yeah. But like I said, that's the only problem I have with the local fights sometimes. It's like...
And I don't know how it is anymore, but like, I mean, the last time I saw a local fight was about 8 years ago. So let's start by saying a lot has changed in the MMA scene in that time. But I just feel like every time I've seen local fights, the skill is just not good. It's just not good.
Oh, there were some really skilled guys there too.
Good. I'm glad. I'm glad to hear that. And I think it's just, you know, the sport
there's some
becoming more popular.
For sure.
You know, but I mean, it used to be like a local, and I'm talking amateur, not pro.
Yeah, this was both. This was like a mixed
it used to be that like when it was amateur fights, it was literally people who didn't know anything. Like they all thought that they were going to go do in the middle of the ring and do kata or something, and it just wasn't good.
Yeah, this there was only one kid there that I remember.
Let's just say this: blue belts and BJJ would just destroy MMA fights at that point.
Yeah.
Like they would just tear people. You would think they were a black belt.
Yeah,
like they looked like
ninjas.
They looked like George St. Pierre or whatever.
Yeah,
but
well, I only remember one kid that I felt that way about. That I was like, they shouldn't have let him get in there. Yeah, and that was the independent kid that had like 5 losses or something. And here's the thing: he looked like an athletic kid, and he has one of the things that's the hardest to teach. That he's not afraid to get in the cage.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? So I feel like he could at least be an average local fighter. If somebody,
the issue is he's independent. I mean, I wonder why he's independent though.
Yeah, maybe he's a dick.
Yeah, he could be a big jerk, or maybe he doesn't have the money to do
maybe
it.
That's
or,
what it is.
You never know.
He might be chasing a dream.
I don't know the guy at all.
Yeah, so. I didn't know him at all. I just was sympathetic with his plight.
Did you look up anything about him after?
I did not. I didn't even catch his name. It was the first fight. We were just coming in, and like I said, I heard independent fighter. Oh, and I was like, oh, this ain't gonna be good.
Yeah.
And like I said, I'm just sympathetic to the kid. You know, I hope it all works out for him.
That's nice of you, Ed.
Thanks.
I don't think most
I mean,
of the
after
world
the
agrees.
things we've said in this podcast, I got to try to redeem us.
Yeah. I mean, mostly you.
Mostly, yeah, bro. I'm all me. Yeah, I guess it's all me. Yeah.
So what else is going on? Didn't you want to do some like sort of spotlight? You had like a spotlight, a Miller Lite spotlight or something?
Yeah, so new segment.
So this one's sponsored by Miller Lite. Not really. I made that up.
This is brought to you by Top Level Martial Arts.
I don't know if we want to say all that.
Yeah, he's like, I don't know this guy that well. You're the one who met him. I didn't meet him. Is he okay? Yeah, so I just want to do a new little segment where we just highlight local fighters.
Okay.
So if you're listening to this and you know a local fighter, you run a gym, you have a guy, and it doesn't have to be an up-and-coming guy. It could be a 34-year-old guy who does it for the love of the game. Just want to take 2 minutes, say the guy's name, tell a little bit of their backstory, and just highlight him a little bit.
All right.
All right, so the first guy we got is Jose Burgos. Sorry if I messed up your last name. But he is he fights out of Brian Berkey's school down in Millersburg, Ohio.
Okay.
And the name of his gym is Personal Combat Systems. And he started boxing when he was 15. And he's originally from Massachusetts. And then he somehow him and Brian crossed paths. And they had like a dream of opening a gym eventually.
Okay.
But for like the first few years, the way I understand it is they basically just train in Brian's garage. So it would be the two of them just doing jiu-jitsu to each other. Or Brian would teach him like grappling and Jose would teach him striking.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So just wanted to highlight his name. Check him out. I'm sure you can find him on Facebook. And,
The Book of Faces.
The Book of Faces. Give it a Google.
It's Jose.
Yep, Burgos.
Okay.
Yep, and he's only 2-2 right now, but he's 5'3".
Young guy.
Yeah, I don't know what his age is.
5'3", he's gigantic, huh?
Yeah, he's 5'3", fighting at 145. So he's slowly working his way down to 125, I believe, is the master plan.
Oh, okay.
So it's going to be a progress. It's going to be a slow progression to get down that much weight, but
Well, good for him, and good luck to you, Jose. I hope it all works out.
Yes,
and,
sir.
That's pretty awesome stuff
yep,
right there.
give him a Google. And like I said,
Yeah,
if
give
you're
him the
interested
goose.
in us, highlighting one of your fighters or something, send it to blackbelttips@gmail.com. Or you can even put it up on the website, blackbelttips.com.
Or the Facebook page.
Yeah, Facebook page as well. Black Belt
let us
Tips
know.
on Facebook, yeah.
Give us a shout out. We'd
love to
hear
talk about them. Like I said, you don't have to be an up-and-coming superstar. You could be a 7-10 journeyman who just does it because you like it.
And listen, don't be afraid of maybe a little shameless self-promotion. If it's
sure.
you, then that's fine. It's you.
Yeah.
We'd love to talk about you, talk
For
to you,
sure.
see what you're all about.
Yeah, man. Just let us know.
So, yeah, I think that's a great segment. Thanks to Miller Lite for doing that.
We get a cease and desist letter from Miller Lite in like
Shit.
15 minutes.
Yeah, okay, so in like 15 minutes. It's not even posted yet.
Yeah.
It comes in the mailbox.
It's like an old school telegram. Some
what
dude's
the
knocking on the window
hell?
in a little blue hat.
It's still on my phone.
Yeah.
Guy just grabs my phone out of my hand and smashes
He's
it
like,
on the
delete.
ground. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
So we are not in any kind of way sponsored by Miller Lite. I should just say that. I just said it
Yeah.
to be funny. I don't.
Yeah.
It's probably not even that funny.
Yeah.
You're like, yeah, you could have. Come on, Ed. Give me a
Jeez.
break.
I thought it was good.
All right. What else is going on? Anything?
Nothing
anything
too
crazy?
Yeah, I haven't seen
All
anything crazy worthy of talking about.
Okay, actually, I do have one last thing, Ed. So I don't know if you've been following this, but did you see all of the hype about all the stuff with Gordon Ryan at the seminar, and he got all pissed about people and all that stuff?
No.
Okay, so now I've read both sides of it, and if you check out Jiu-Jitsu Times, it's on there, and I mean,
Okay.
it's in a bunch of places. But the reason I bring it up is because the seminar was just over in Pennsylvania, and it was right before he came to Ohio for his seminar.
Wait,
Yeah,
he was in Pennsylvania and Ohio?
yeah, like last weekend.
The first
I
I've heard
didn't
of
know.
it
I didn't
is-
know he was coming either. But
Man.
anyway, so I guess the way it went down, according to Gordon Ryan, was he comes in and he talks to the owner and he starts teaching his seminar and then notices that it's being filmed and says, "Hey, I don't want my seminars filmed because." And he gave reasons. I think one of them was like he doesn't want his opponents to have new footage of him and he doesn't. This is how
Doesn't
he
want
makes
it to
his.
end up on YouTube.
It's how he makes his money, and he doesn't want people to, see his moves and then not want to bring him in or not pay to bring him in or whatever. So anyway, long story short, he said, "Hey, don't film my seminar.
Okay.
Okay, you can take pictures, you can film yourselves doing the moves, because how can he stop him from doing that?
Yeah.
But don't film me doing any moves." After finishes up the seminar, does question and answer, but before it's time to roll, which normally he rolls with everybody,
Yeah.
he says, "Look, I'm not going to stay and roll because," and he points over at the instructor, "I see that this guy's been trying to sneak some video of me teaching in right after I calls the guy out in the middle of everything."
Yeah.
And then says, "I'm leaving. Have a good day," and takes off. Now he finished his seminar, so to his credit, it's not like he stopped mid-seminar and threw a temper tantrum and left. Everybody paid. Everybody got what they paid for.
Okay.
Then the owner, this is like a big thing. The owner of the school in PA put out a thing and said, "Listen, all I was doing was controlling my I wasn't." Basically, he said I wasn't filming it. Gordon didn't. We even showed him that the initial stuff that we had filmed before he told us not to was deleted, and he threw a big fit for no reason and then left. So of course the truth probably lies somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, most
but,
likely.
But I mean, I thought it was an interesting subject. Not so much for Gordon Ryan per se.
Yeah, not him personally, but
yeah,
the idea of filming seminars.
because and how do you feel about that? What are your thoughts and that kind of thing?
I think I'm pretty down the middle on this one.
Yeah.
I would like to film seminars that I'm at, but the guy says no. I mean,
Yeah, so I don't know how I feel on it 100%.
okay.
But I feel like I guess I feel like the reasoning needs to be good, or that it needs to be something that's discussed before the seminar. Like I think that if you don't want people filming your seminar, especially in the age where everybody's got
a camera with them at all times,
you need to say that well beforehand. Like, this will not be filmed. And it needs to be part of like the agreements you make with the gym that you're coming to and all that kind of stuff.
And maybe he'll address that in the future ahead of time.
I would probably, but I think that the reasoning for it is stupid. So in the end, decide whatever you want, but I think the reasoning is stupid. And here's my example. Every professional sport, high level professional sport, you can find what you want on anybody on video. And in fact, they readily share videos of each other back and forth. This is what a lot of people don't realize.
I actually agree with that part of it.
Yeah.
But the other part I think is valid.
Which
Wanting
part?
to control your content that goes out.
Yeah, I don't think so. Because I think when you see a video of it, like when I see a video of something, I am much more likely to go to somebody's seminar. And statistics bear that out as well.
I didn't mean that. I meant being able to control what videos come out and how it's presented. And,
I see what you're saying there.
Do you know what I mean?
So I'll give you that. Yeah. Okay. Like he may not mind that specific leg lock was on there, but it's like, hey, you know what? It didn't have my logo on it. It didn't have the intro video I like to have with it.
Yeah.
It was just like,
didn't have my website. How you can come to a seminar.
Yeah, give you that. I'll give you that.
But other than that, I don't know. Again, I'm sure the truth is somewhere in the middle.
Yeah.
But on that note, did you see he accepted Halleck's challenge?
Who? Halleck Gracie?
Yeah. At Metamoris.
Wait, Gordon Ryan's gonna... What do you mean at Metamoris? Metamoris is done, isn't
exactly. That's what I said. I didn't even know it was a thing. I was like, they still haven't refunded my money for the year-long subscription and never put on an event.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, but...
So this mysterious Metamoris event that may or may not happen, probably won't.
Yep.
Anyway.
Halleck Gracie challenged Gordon Ryan. And Gordon Ryan said he will submit him with triangle or armbar. No leg lock.
Okay.
Yeah.
Probably will.
I think so.
I'm not going to doubt it.
Yeah, he's really
good.
Really good.
Really good at jiu-jitsu.
And I don't know how good Halleck is, to be honest with you. I don't know. I've only heard...
I'm sure he's good.
Yeah, I mean... I'm sure
he does it a lot, but he's not Gordon Ryan. And like I said... And to my knowledge, he doesn't have the support of his brothers anymore either, so where the hell is he even training?
Yeah, he's like a black sheep.
Yeah,
so many bad business decisions.
Now, I mean, maybe he still trains there. I don't know.
I don't know.
I guess I shouldn't just assume they booted him out of the family. But
you're out.
Yeah, but
yeah,
he's done some shady things.
That's the least way. Yeah.
I guess this is a fight that I don't care about.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mainly because I feel like it gives Halleck some credibility that he doesn't deserve.
I can agree with that. I just want to see Halleck get choked.
He had credibility at first, and it was 100% based on his name.
Yeah.
Right? That his name was Gracie. Completely unearned.
Yeah.
And so everybody was like, you know what, we'll give him a chance. He's a Gracie. They usually do some pretty smart business things, and he seems to be trying this tournament thing.
Yep.
Screwed over a bunch of fighters, didn't pay a bunch of people.
Screwed over Ed Whitney.
And
I bought a year subscription, and they did not put it on an event the entire year.
Yeah, so, and then what?
And then nothing.
Yeah. And
I just gave him money for nothing.
And he ripped a bunch of people off.
Yeah.
And then he tried to use his brother's name to go around and do some seminars so that he could try to pay back some of these bills. And, like, shady shit, man.
Yeah.
Everybody gave him a chance, and I feel like, you need to re-earn that. Like, I don't think... I mean, if
Gordon
Ryan wants to roll him just to kick his ass, then
yeah,
great,
I want to see Gordon Ryan triangling.
That's probably all he wants.
That's all I want.
It's probably like, yeah, I'll come kick your ass.
That's what I want.
You pay me, I'll kick your ass.
That's exactly. He probably won't pay him. He'll promise to pay him.
Gordon Ryan. I think he already owes him money.
Gordon Ryan, if you're listening, demand payment up front.
All right, so this episode we've learned about aliens. We've learned that Miller Lite does not sponsor us. We've learned that
Ed is not the biggest Halleck Gracie fan.
Neither of us are Halleck Gracie fans, and I think that's a good summation of this episode.
Yeah.
Ed, do you have anything else, man? How can people get a hold of us?
Blackbelttips.com. blackbelttips@gmail.com and Black Belt Tips on Facebook.
What about Twitter? Are we on there yet?
We're working on it.
I think we've been working on it for like 7 episodes.
Like I said, I'm just getting reaccustomed to Twitter.
By reaccustom, he means he needs to create the Black Belt Tips page.
Well, no, I've been on there playing around on my own account.
Oh,
just,
okay.
Just getting back into the flow. It's a different world, man.
Well, if somebody wanted to contact you on your account, would that be okay?
I don't want to do that.
What? Just go look up. It's probably like Eddie Two Guns or something like that.
It's probably Eddie Jiu-Jitsu. I mean.
All right. Anyway, guys, thanks for listening. I'm Bill Jones here with Ed Whitney, and we're out.
Thank you for listening.